Good. Yeah, like everyone, I suppose it's mad times. I mean, I remember talking to you last March, saying it'll be very, very difficult for them to cancel the Olympics, and I was thinking that they were still going to go ahead, and thinking by the summer all this will be gone, and here we are months later. I suppose it's kind of surreal and unbelievable in ways.
Yeah, you could nearly say, unfortunately, back to square one, given the the rising cases, and particularly like here in Waterford the last couple of days. It's kind of worrying for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are living in fear, and I think the uncertainty, I suppose as humans that uncertainty and that fear and that the unknown and the questions, and everyone's looking at the news, and I think the panic, and it's causing a lot of people to, I suppose, mentally be in bad places.
It certainly is, yeah. And even planning sports shows and with events and looking too far ahead, you can't really look too far ahead, because you just, at the minute, it's just kind of take it nearly day by day, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And maybe look, there's always a silver lining to things, and I think it's changing our attitudes and our perspective on things, and looking at it as it's an opportunity for us to, I suppose, change our outlook on life in general. There's always, there is lots of negatives to it, but I suppose we have to just look at the positives and use this time, as best we can.
Absolutely. Now, I suppose, Kate, the reason we got you in, I suppose, was to maybe, what way you've been dealing with, I suppose, the whole COVID thing. And obviously the Olympics, 2020 Olympics is scheduled to take place in July of this year, 2021, 23rd. So as regards from your own point of view, the category and the race walking obviously would be your main aim. So at what point, what stage are you now at the minute, or is it nearly too early to start predicting that?
Yeah, again, you know what I mean? There was so many things planned and races planned, and things being cancelled, and now it's like, as you said, it's taking it each day as it comes, and I'm definitely after becoming a lot more relaxed and chilled and enjoying the process and the journey, because I think this time last year, I suppose, this time nearly 2 years ago is when I really, said I'm really going to make a go, and with my coach Rob McNamara, and go for the Olympics, and put a big effort into, say, the first stage was to get the qualifying time for the World Cup, which I did in December 2019, and the World Cup was meant to be on in May. And it was funny because it was kind of like the world was ending, in my head it was like everything was geared towards this peak, towards this race, and then your bubble is burst and your whole kind of reality is, and that was hard, definitely. And I think everyone had it was, this virus has affected everyone in different ways. I suppose at the time it was a catastrophe, and I was distraught, and definitely mentally it was very difficult. But in hindsight, and now it's definitely changed my perspective on things. So now the qualification system has been frozen. Basically, I think there's going to be carnage come, maybe March. I'm hoping to race in March in Slovakia. Okay. Whether that goes ahead or not, and
it's even hard to predict.
And
everything's
it's very,
probably
very
up in the air
hard now, because
isn't
there's
it?
a short window of time to qualify because they've frozen the system.
Okay.
That there's going to be, it's going to be quite a challenge for, I suppose, everyone involved. And I think again they're at the moment, talking and trying to, I suppose, find the best solution or the fairest way of,
It's not easy either, is it? Is it like
you know what, and I'm kind of realising I have to just try and control the controllables, because you can be looking and thinking, okay, what's going to happen, or trying to predict, but I think it brings it back to the simple things of, the simple day-to-day things, and controlling what you can, and realising that there's no point in putting all the energy and worry into the things you can't control.
Absolutely, yeah. And the Olympics in itself is such a prestigious event. It's always been a dream of yours, I take it, to perform at one of those if you can, things work out.
I was, since as long as I can remember, since I started running, it was my dream, and it was always running. Then I got into the race walking. I went to Youth Olympics, which was one of the most amazing experiences. It was on in Singapore, and it was the same kind of setup as an adult Olympics, and and then had kind of my fair share of just different injuries, and never really got there. So this time it was kind of nearly in a way a do or die, and now I'm seeing that again, back to enjoying the sport. It did get a bit, the last year or two, a bit more, a bit intense, and a bit like that my whole identity and everything was just, I have to get there. Whereas now, I'm just definitely enjoying it more. There's more just flow there, and more, but it's still definitely the dream. But in perspective of, I suppose, I think, this virus also maybe changed my values, and you know, seeing what's important in life, and, you know, appreciating the little things, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's important too, to, you know, with any sport, I suppose, that you're enjoying it, that, you know, you're going to have your up and down moments as well, but to enjoy it as well, how important is that?
Yeah, you know, that's, I mean, really, that's, you know, like the number one goal for everyone should be to enjoy it, and for, you know, a healthy lifestyle. And like, this year has shown us how important sport is in people's lives, and it's not just, I suppose, the people competing, it's the whole community, it's everyone involved. You know, we did a 5k time trial before Christmas down in Cork, and I remember Rob saying to me, wow, that's after he was obviously not doing it, but with everyone that was doing it and the lads that I train with, he said, that's after giving me so much like joy and happiness there, seeing you know, and so it just shows what coaches or everyone involved in a team. And I think I was actually only talking to athletics people about the GAA recently, and something that they, you know, that sense of community, and how other sports could, I suppose, look at that and see that what GAA, I suppose, has done for, you know, lots of people. It's been their outlet. It's, you know, we see particularly maybe with young men, there's you know, such a high rate of like suicides in Ireland, and how, say, the GAA kind of, everyone wants that, you know, sense of belonging or community, and the GAA have done that really well. So I think, that sport, the wider impact, I suppose, of sport and how important it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very valid point indeed. And you mentioned Rob Heffernan there. Of course, you're under the stewardship of Rob, who, you know, knows all about big events in Olympics, and, you know, former world champion. What's it been like working under him there the last while?
Yeah, you know, he's been great. I mean, he's taught me so much about life, just his mentality, and I see that type of mentality, you know, even it's not just in sport. Even when, I suppose, I didn't deal so well with injuries or with the virus when I came in first, and the uncertainty, and how his perspective and outlook on things, you know, transfers to, you know, every area in life, and to, you know, that kind of just the thinking and just seeing the importance of your mindset, I suppose, you know. And I've learned, definitely lots, and had, you know, and again, having fun along the way, you know. And there's, I think it just shows the importance of the environment and putting yourself in the right environment, and that kind of culture and that nearly maybe team aspect, and you know, how important to be around good people is, you know.
Absolutely, yeah, and he has that in abundance. And I suppose at the moment then, is a lot of the stuff is virtual, so you're probably constantly, you know, chatting on Zoom with him and all that, and, you know, staying within your own, I suppose, zone, the 5k and that, is it?
I think people have really, you'd have to, you know, I think the people are able to adapt, you know. It's kind of to improvise, to adapt, you know. And I think we can all make excuses, and we all can kind of blame and complain and become the victim of, you know, the circumstances and the situation. But it's really a time that we can see that, you know, it's the resilient kind of ones that might think outside the box and, you know, getting on with it. They're the ones that are going to, you know, do well. And I think we can all, you know, it's important that we all have, I suppose, have a sense of purpose, and that we still maybe have little goals, or that we realise there is lots that we can do. So it's it's changing things up, but there is plenty that, you know, can be done.
Yeah, you have to try and keep it positive too, don't you? I know it's not probably, you know, some will say there's not too much light at the end of the tunnel, but, you know, with the vaccines and things now maybe on the horizon as well, that you have to look forward. Definitely,
like, I know it's accepting, I suppose, the seriousness of the situation, and definitely, you know, accepting that. But I think you have to put a positive spin on it, and you know, as I said, people are in fear, and we can hear just lots of negativity around. And I think it's really important to see all the positives in life, I suppose, just in general. Like little things I even noticed when I was out training the last few evenings is the sunset and the sky has been so nice, you know, just little things like that. And I think this is a time where people can actually maybe reflect on their life, and I suppose, again, realise what's important, and maybe start doing something different, trying something different, you know. And you know, it could be a good thing, you know, and I think it'll make people more resilient, and it will, you know, maybe we can all come together stronger. And I think it's also important that we're more maybe tolerant to each other, because I think we have a lot of people nearly pointing fingers and giving out about this you know, or this group or that or whatever. And I think we have to just become a little bit more, I suppose, caring and kind to each other. And, you know, we don't know everyone's kind of story, and it's like we're kind of nearly, you know, some people are, I suppose, complaining, and it's just, we have to just try to, you know, instill a bit more positivity, definitely.
Yeah, nice. Some very valid points indeed. I suppose leads us into a final point. I suppose, you know, it still is a challenging time for everyone in this lockdown. You know, it's until the end of January, possibly could even go beyond that. But maybe from your opinion, your advice now to to people and the importance of getting out and getting their exercise daily, obviously staying within that 5 kilometre zone as well. Have you any
I think
hints or tips for him?
Routine is very important. I think if we can try and have, you know, a routine, and that we're eating well, good regular meals, and, you know, having a nice wind down before bed, and definitely exercise. If you could put exercise into a pill and give it to everyone, you know, to be the most and widely used. And I think a lot of people kind of might think, oh, we're not motivated, they don't have the energy, and you have to put the action in place. What people don't see, you have to, you know, the action will come before, you know, the feeling good or the motivation. And I think, you know, just getting out there with your family and using it nearly, you know, with your household, whoever, and, you know, maybe trying some different activities, some home workouts, some like obstacle course with the kids, or and it's just getting back to basics and doing the simple things every day. You know, maybe try reading, maybe try mindfulness, all these things that we kind of hear about, and we can kind of sometimes think they might be, you know, airy fairy, or, you know, but it's actually maybe trying these things out. And I think, you know, taking each day as it comes, and just it can maybe make us be more present, because we don't know the future, and we can't. A lot of the time we're such a nation of, you know, that we're lots of anxiety and depression, and we have to just try and, with this, kind of live in the present and appreciate the small moments, and then and maybe set little goals for yourself, whatever it may be. Or if there's anything that you know, we always think, oh, I'd love to try that, or, you know, maybe it could be baking this, or it could be some artwork, or it could be gardening, and we never really do it. Whereas this is the time to, you know, maybe try out them, you know, different things. And as I said, you know, it's important to have that sense of purpose and to feel fulfillment, I suppose, in your day.
Absolutely, yeah. So plenty of useful tips and advice there. Kate Veale, fascinating story as always. Mind yourself, and look, we'll chat again maybe in the future.
Thanks so much. Thank you.